TGC doesn't do ifs, buts, or maybes. They only do absolutes, and they only do absolute classics. That's right. Once again, TGC gifts this league, the Barat Premier League, with another classic. TGC at the Wankhede, we get a last ball thriller. Once again, it's all about us, Pezza. What a game of cricket last night.
The agony, the ecstasy, the margins. Both teams gave plenty of margin last night. If by margin you mean drop catches. Drama well past midnight, he goes. There at the Wankhede. An absolute pleasure to be there. An absolutely steaming Wankhede Stadium last night. And by that I just mean the humidity was through the absolute roof. It was a storm for the ages that busted on through, but they managed to get the game done. They managed to piss some MI people off. Mm-hmm. That the game was in fact completed. The game of cricket that people were watching was completed. But it was a total pleasure to be there at the Wankhede.
And it's all thanks to these guys.
10 minutes, Andre. Boys, big basket. 10 minutes, Andre, big basket. 10 minutes, Andre, big basket.
Big Basket, delivering in 10 minutes.
Thank you very much to Big Basket for getting behind TGC and for staying with us in these hard times. Pezza, TGC does, a live stream. Rinko Singh hits 5 sixes in a row. Things were said, promises were made. Come to our live show in Delhi to find out what happened next. TGC goes to their first IPL game at the Chinnaswamy, a last ball thriller again. Go to the Wankhede for the first time, last ball thriller. This game really is about us. No, I'm just saying we've been very blessed when we've been in and around this league, this competition, the big competition, and we review it in the AM. Over a meal, typically. And also, we would have been outside, but then it decided to piss down again here in Mumbai.
We wanted to show you the Arabian Sea and also a paddle court sponsored by Dhoni. But alas, we were getting pissed on.
That's right. Now, our friends in Delhi.
Yes.
You have the opportunity to close out our tour, which has been wonderful. It's so great to see our friends in Bengaluru, our friends here in Mumbai, the other night on stage, back-to-back live shows. Hundreds of people come, Pezza, to come and see us, to come and see what all this is about. We are doing 2 shows in Gurugram. The first one is sold out, but there is one more show, putting on one more show, starting at, is it
9:30? The Late Show.
The Late Show.
The Late Show and the last show of the tour.
Oof, that is going to be
Typically speaking, that'll be the best show of the tour. We know the material best. We know what works. We know what's annoying people. And so we double down on that. A bit of a last day of school vibe as well. It'll be late. There'll be delirium. I dare say it's a show well worth seeing.
So, if you want to come along and see us, if you're in Gurugram on Friday night, well then come along and see us. Tickets available. The final few tickets are available. There's a link in the description of this video. So come along and see us and snap those tickets up, bring some mates, and have a laugh with TGC. All right. Pezza, this was a great game of cricket. It only finished about 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago, yeah.
Sun's just come up, finished 10 minutes ago. So
I just pushed through.
It was a long old game, and it was hot as fuck at the Wankhede last night.
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. A lot of people in the comments are heading into our tour was saying that you boys don't understand heat. You will not understand heat until you get over to India. And I'm
White boys melting.
Motherfucker, we got heat. Don't worry about that. Okay, I live in Melbourne. Bit less of that knocking around.
We've got the Brisbane heat.
Yeah. And no, they were right. That was fucking hot. It was steamy.
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I do believe that you needed to be there to at least semi-understand the drop catches, of which there were at least half a dozen in this game. But I thought we might start with a couple of Wankhede impressions, just as we did with Chinnaswamy. So the thing that you notice about the Wankhede, firstly, is it's, when I'm there, I'm thinking that this is an incredibly historic ground. Some amazing feats in cricket have taken place there. And at the top of the pile, Maxwell versus Afghanistan. But it's obviously all MI branded, and I think about the thing about the MI brand is that, like, obviously it's the glamour franchise of the IPL,
yes.
And it's the way that a lot of franchises incorporate gold into their colours, but I think the way that the light of the gold dances off the MI jersey just nice. It somehow permeates the ground itself, and it just gives the Wankhede a sheen of superiority, I believe. It's something about the royal blue and gold combination, and they're looking to be an actual house next to your grandstand where people are sitting in, and then Nita Ambani walks out to a seat. I was impressed. It was very cool to to step in real life to the stadium that you sort of see in your dreams when you watch the Wankhede from afar.
The vibe heading into the ground from Marine Drive, I think it is, the energy was pumping.
Yeah.
But once you get inside the ground, just to compare it to what our first game with Chinnaswamy, it's not quite as manic. You know,
It doesn't have ADHD.
Doesn't have ADHD, which says something about both franchises, I feel like.
Yeah, it's calmer. The music is more accessible.
Yeah.
Got to ask as a little parenthesis here, and people will be able to tell us, and sorry that this is naive, but when you watch the replay of the game afterwards, you learn that the TV doesn't pick up the music of the game, the music that's happening inside the stadium. Because when you're inside the stadium, the music is pumping in between every single ball, just about. Like, there's more music than not in between every ball. But when you watch the IPL on TV, you hear no music, though you can hear the announcer and you might hear the odd IPL trumpet coming through. So I don't know if they're using false sound effects or overlay. I don't know how you're able to isolate the non-use of music.
Oh, do you remember during COVID when they put fake crowd music, fake crowd noise in for when it was empty?
Awesome.
That was the lowest of the low for me.
Speak for yourself. I was horny.
A lot of love for Anita Ambani when she walked out and sits on like a literal throne. And nobody claps with their elbows further away from their body than Anita Ambani. And I've always said that.
Yeah, I've always said that. You've been fair about that.
Like, try that at home. Try and get your elbows as far away from your chest as possible. And you know what? You would never get anywhere close to Nita Ambani, let me tell you.
I was very jealous of the blasting fan that she had on her face. Just hair billowing in the wind. And I was like, what I wouldn't give.
That's right.
What I wouldn't give.
That's right. And then the experience just generally watching
That's
T20
potato
cricket
snacks, though.
inside the ground, the game really is for TV. When they do DRS and then the DRS just takes a bit of time to load and then nothing's happening on the ground.
You can't see it.
Yeah.
I think sporadically they show the actual review decision itself. So inside the ground, you don't get to follow what people are watching on TV. And inside the ground, you don't get to watch the myriad ads that are taking place during that time as well.
Well, that's another thing. Like in Australia, when you're watching the IPL on TV, you don't get the same ad. I mean, you don't get the ads that you got here. I mean,
they just run the feed.
You realise this entire thing is for advertisements.
Look, to be fair, people will be like, yeah, of course. I mean, you can intellectually understand that as well without having come to the IPL. But to be inside the ground and to witness the amount of time waiting around, whether it be through a strategic timeout, whether they're strategically taken because you're ahead on DLS, or a review, or a fielding change, or someone's getting gloves, or whatever, you just go, wow, there's just bulk commercials happening. Yeah. And then you watch it on TV here in India, and there are little Astons and size shrinking going on because there is an advertisement every ball.
Every ball.
Yeah.
So
someone's making money. So that's good.
Yep.
Play on for me. It's just called cash. Hey, second thing, I guess, after Wankhede impressions, MI makes 155 for 8. He goes. Riggleton goes early. Sudarshan drops Rohit. It's the first of 84 drop catches in this game. Rohit then chips onto Krishna. Not having a top year, Rohit. I don't care. Sky and Will Jack put on a partnership of substance, but it always feels like it's we're not watching that free-flowing cricket that you're seeing in a couple of other games. I think there was a little bit in the deck. As we said, a very, very sweaty atmosphere and set of conditions there. Sai Keyshaw then drops Sky at mid-wicket. Siraj drops Jax at mid-wicket. Jax then goes on to make 50 off 30, Sky 35 from 24, so he continues his run of scores of 25 or above. He does take the orange cap, Sky, so that's something. But when Keyshaw picks him up, Sai Keyshaw, and I don't know if the TV got this, Sai Keyshaw wheeled away literally to the boundary as a spinner.
And no one chased him.
Yeah. I think Shubman Gill just went up and gave him what you'd call a consolation bum tap after that. Because they'd lost him. They didn't know where he was. Where'd he go? Yeah. Now for my next trick. So it was it was an interesting starting so far. I was like, it was full of drop catches. It was clear that MI weren't going to be able to play really fluently, and yet they were still managing to kick along at 8, 9, 10 and over before they fell over. It
is funny, isn't it? Like when the deck was seaming, but when it's true, like it's true bounce. You know, you can still scrap your way to 10 and over without playing very well. I think GT dropped 4 catches in the first 7 overs. Will Jacks dropped twice and had he had a LBW umpires called off Rashid Khan, given not out. So it was a clinical 50, but his 50 came off like 29 balls. Now that in anyone's language is impressive, except in this league, where it's like 29. It's about par, isn't it? It's about par. He's been dropped twice and he's survived an LB.
Yeah, you don't want a 3 in front of it.
No, you certainly do not want that. And the best news for Sky getting the orange cap is that Siddharthan gets nicked off, and so he doesn't pass Sky for the orange cap.
Just another one on the drop catches as well. It's an insight I'm trying to share, I suppose, from being at the ground. But like when you watch this game live, and it was the same with with Bengaluru and Chennai. You just see live how much the ball pings off the bat. And I think for infielders in the Bharat Premier League, it must be very difficult to pick up the pace of a ball coming towards you, because like it can there is almost like it's not intuitive, the swing of one's bat and then how fast it comes off. Like that's how good bats are these days. You see a lot of infielders struggling to get the depth perception of what's happening. And I think when balls are pinging at like 1,000 miles an hour off a bat, your first instinct is just to wait a little bit rather than get in sync with the ball. I think that's why we don't see a lot of stops in the ring either, because the ball just goes through. And then when you ally that fact with the humid conditions that we saw last night, it isn't as simple to say this fielding was dreadful, though there were some dreadful drop catches. Anyway, all right. So Rashid Khan says he's back to his best. He ends up with 1 for 20 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Harsha put it to him that he was back to his best, and Rashid said 70%.
Well, he was 3 overs, number 50 last outing.
Yeah, yes, that's a decent improvement. Yeah. Hardik couldn't put any on the board, neither could Tilak Varma. MI sort of fading away a little bit, disintegrating. Corbin boshed a couple. 155 for 8, didn't really feel enough, particularly with the strength of GT's top 3, who have been pretty much unstoppable, unable to be impregnated this time around.
Corbin Bosch's biggest impact on the game, he had a nice couple of sixes and got 22, sort of got him to a score. 28 or something like that.
Sure.
Whatever he got, but his biggest impact was being hit in the head and then being substituted. Which was quite impactful later in the game.
Great result. Just second thing here, I just got, GT scrape home, here goes. So at the top of the innings, MI looked very, very up for it. I think they knew that there was a little bit in the deck. They wanted to apply some pressure. They threw all their aces at GT up the top, as I was saying in comms. And I think they smelt blood. So Bolt gets Siddharthan, that's what he does, first over. And then this incredible wind storm sort of came through the ground.
Yeah.
I think it was worse outside as well, but it was fucking. There was a bit of rain as well, but it was extremely windy, knocking around, and that's when we started to. That's when that introduced the new narrative layer of this game of will they, won't they play, which is the same narrative layer you're experiencing in a massage from time to time.
Well, they ask you to turn over onto your back.
Especially in hotels, believe me. But
will they or won't they?
Yeah, you think surely that's unprofessional. But and for a lot of with the introduction of that will they, won't they narrative layer, MI was ahead on Duckworth Lewis. So were taking the strategic timeouts as soon as they could, wondering if they'd go off the ground, etc. You could understand being here why they thought they wouldn't get back on, because the strength of the wind was such, you thought this could be some kind of biblical storm we're seeing. Never really happened. GT weathered that storm.
Nice.
I think only about 84 media outlets have said that. So, and that was through Butler and Gill. I just want to shout out to Joss Butler, who just MI were throwing everything at GT at this time. And I know it's only T20 cricket, so Butler's probably barely getting out of bed for it. But Bumrah coming at you, Trent Bolt coming at you, a bang Wankhede crowd trying to defend what felt like a low score would have been enough to put too much pressure on batters. But he didn't give a shit. He looked fine.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned there about the tactical timeout. So at the end of the sixth, end of the power play, GT were 1 for 29, so they were about 8 or 10 runs behind Duckworth Lewis at that moment. Now, the tactical timeout, let's be right about it, is an ad break. That's why it exists. It's an ad break. But I
thought it was for Ashish Nehra to get on one knee and deliver a sermon to his team
and see if he can turn his hat the right way around.
that's
He,
right.
he never can.
That wind, yeah.
But like they literally used it in the hope that it would rain really hard in that moment. MI taking the timeout there, it would rain really hard, so therefore they'd win the game. So
Yeah.
like that was an actual tactical timeout. Apart from that, you don't need a drink in a T20 game after 6 overs. You don't. Ads though.
Yeah, it says you need money. Tilak Varma then drops Shubman. He probably should have taken that one. Butler goes for 30. It doesn't cost MI too much. Shubman's out soon after for 43. He batted really well. And, it's the sort of innings you need when you're chasing 150. I mean, that's just a mathematical point. He made 43. Shafane Rutherford comes in as the impact sub, 28 or 15. He swung the momentum a little bit back GT's way. Just looked like they were getting into a little bit of a hole. MI able to build pressure, pressure produces wickets.
Can I just say something before that? So Hardik bowls the 8th over, and he bowls 2 no balls, a couple of free hits, and a wide. And I think it goes for about 13 or 14. And at that point,
He goes for 18 off that over.
Oh, does he go for 18?
Yeah.
Does he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So at that moment, GT then go ahead of Duckworth Lewis, and then MI pull it back. So then by the time Rutherford comes in, they're then behind the rate again. But I think that's the reason. That's part of the reason why Hardik doesn't bowl the last over.
Right, we will come to that. And you saying he didn't bowl it because he was just bowling shit?
Yes.
Yeah, right. It's a serious way of going. I was just bowling pump today.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Bolt then gets Rutherford. Rutherford reviews it aggressively, and it turns out that it's fucking 3 reds and halfway up middle. So, normally a review that aggressive indicates that you've hit it. You're like, I am in possession of evidence that is justifying this aggressive review. But for him, it was just like, mate, you've just kicked one off middle and it's halfway up. What's doing? Maybe the time it took to review, we thought it might start raining. We're ahead on DLS.
Yeah.
And then, Boomer's starting to do his stuff. He bowls Sharad Khan, Wankhede crowds getting behind it. Incredible review to get rid of Rashid Khan as well from Ashwani Kumar. Rain came and went. GT are down on DLS, pass score. So we got this situation where GT needs 24 off 12. And in the context of the game, that felt a lot. They go off for rain. The match is revised. Only 1 more over is needed. That's all they can cram in. Fuck knows what would have happened if they went to a super over. 1 more over needed, and that was revised to 15 runs from the final over. Here you go. So I thought for the third thing, we'll walk through that final over. Sure. It starts at 12:21 a.m. So batting for GTs, Tuati and Kurtzia. Tuati is on strike. Deepak Chahar's bowling. First ball, 4 from Tuati. Always good start to hit a boundary. 11 off 5. Second ball, 1. 10 off 4. Third ball, 6. Kurtzia, incredible. That's he was only on 5, not out. Obviously a tail ender. They need 4 off 3. You're thinking everything's coming up GT. Next ball goes for 1. You're like, okay, everything's coming up GT. No, it really is, because that's a no ball. You're thinking, no, next ball 1, 3 off 2. I guess you could do something. No, it's a no ball. 3 off 2 becomes 2 off 3 with a free hit. Okay, so 2 off 3 with a free hit. Yeah. Next ball goes for 1, so it's 1 off 2. So 1 run, 2 balls. What does Deepak Chahar do? He goes into the deck, and Kurtzia tries to hit him into the Arabian Sea. Fails off the splice of the bat, straight up in the air. Pops it up the chute. He's caught. And so now in comes Arshad, and they need 1 from the final delivery. He goes. So it's Deepak Chahar into Arshad. And Arshad absolutely fucking laces it. Yeah. Problematically, really.
Yeah, hits it too well.
He hits it too well into Captain Hardik there at mid-off. They set off, as is their want, and their need. Lest they lose the game with one run that they need. Yeah. Hardik gathers cleanly, which is a rare sight on the night, and people are forgetting that.
Yes,
with what came in, he gathers cleanly.
Good point.
So it starts well. He shies at the stumps from about 10 metres. Arshad at this point is about a third of the way down the deck, so there's no question that if he hits the stumps, it is a tie. And there's 3 stumps to hit. Hardik misses all 3. He misses all 3 stumps. They scramble home. GT win now. There is a scenario where Suryakumar Yadav is moving towards the stumps at the bowler's end at that situation. People are noting that he wasn't quite at the stumps. That doesn't matter. What Hardik could have done, and very, very easy to say this from a hotel in Mumbai the morning after, is simply pass the ball to Sky. It doesn't matter that Sky's not at the stump, so you can underarm it to Sky, who can do the rest. And Sky would have done the rest from there. But these things happen quickly. Hardik probably just goes, I'll back myself here. I've got 3 stumps, 10 metres.
It's interesting.
I'll ping.
I have seen it suggested that perhaps Sky, who was feeling it short cover, could have been standing like next to the pitch, only in a matter of like just to get someone at the stumps should that exact situation occur.
Well, it would have gone to him then. Probably.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. So, you know, that's pretty clever after the fact. But, I mean, this...
I've never heard of, like, let's have someone standing next to the pitch in that situation for the one-off-one ball.
Let's have 2 wicket-keepers, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Look, he backs himself. I suppose if you've had the career that Hardik Pandya's had, you'd be surprised if he didn't back himself from that situation.
Yeah.
But the flash dog... Thanks to Big Basket, where you can get anything in 10 minutes, is that, Hardik backed himself to hit all 3 stumps, but he didn't back himself to bowl the last over, which is something that he's done par excellence for Team India many, many times. As you mentioned, he had bowled a bunch of no balls in the game. He says after the game, Hardik, 3 no balls in the game is a crime in my eyes. So he's also going to jail.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Well, see you there.
So, exactly. He had gone for 18 in his first over. He's won a lot of games for India as a final over specialist. He's the captain of this team. I've heard it suggested that it's a strange suggestion, but like it appeared that the plan for the 20-over game, which was obviously revised to 19, was for Chahar to bowl the 19th and for Hardik to bowl the 20th. Now, we know in T20 cricket, the 19th is more important than the 20th because, you know, you tend to guarantee the most amount of balls there. So perhaps it's just a simple case of Chahar being the chosen specialist in that situation ahead of Hardik. I just think that would surprise a lot of people, given Hardik Pandya's pedigree.
Yeah, and it's such an important game in the context of this season. It's, you know, when you list out all the reasons why he should have bowled, it's pretty tough to come up with a reason to be like, no, I think it was the right call, especially when they've lost the game. You know what I mean? But like defending 15, that's about par these days, isn't it, off the last over? It's just about even. It's probably still tilted towards the batting side a little bit. I don't know, maybe past 17 or something. I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's like, 15 is 2 successful hits and scramble the rest.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Which is exactly what happened, right? So, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's difficult to defend Hardik's decision not to bowl when they've lost the game and he's missed the stumps, and also he is like the captain and he bowls for India in that role. And
I think going for 18 is not really like decent. I mean, you know, he's allowed to say like, I'm just not feeling it tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just a bit. It's out of step with what we come to expect in modern sport, where your big brand player, your marquee player, takes the ball in the big moment. You know, like most of them tend to understand that, like, this is cash. This is where the cash is. It's like in NBA, you know, you need the shot to win or whatever. It goes to the guy who wins the game for you. You know, it's the closer. And so it's interesting that he opted not to do that. They asked Mahela Jayawardene after the game. He said, Deepak did that job for us in the first few games when Bumrah was not there. I don't know. I mean, it's easy for you to ask me that question and for me to say, yeah, maybe Hardik. I don't know. If Hardik had gone for 3 sixes, you would have asked me, why didn't you go with Deepak? You know?
Hard to argue that.
Yeah, that absolutely would have. So I think, from my perspective, it's not, it's not really dramatically asking the question of like why he didn't do it. There's probably quite rational reasons, but I think it's an interesting revealer of where his head was at least in that particular moment.
This entire game, like the last 5 hours of this game,
that's right, which
were
just got home
like
from.
this wave, like basically when Shafane Rutherford came in, and then he hits Will Jacks for, I think it was 18 he hit him for, and then the next ball he faced from Ashwani, who replaced Corbin Bosch, he hits him for 6, and then that's when they got ahead of the DLS. Then they took the tactical timeout, and then it rained, then they went off the field, then it came back on the field somehow, and then Bolt and Bumrah had their 3 overs, they take 3 wickets, I think, then they're back in front, and then the rain comes again, and it's just And then like you get into that last over, there's a no ball, there's 3 hits, there's a 6, there's a shy at the stumps. It was a crazy, chaotic game, yet it just it seemed to like drag on for too long. You can't be starting a game at 12:21 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, that actually works out quite well for Australia times, actually, so it actually would be quite nice for us.
It's 1-0 Australia, really, if anything.
But it was almost like it's a classic when you gather all the bits of information, but it's almost like T20 games shouldn't go for 5 hours. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's not what cement companies think, mate.
Or big basket.
You know what they should do? If ads are so important, they should make this really long form game.
Yeah.
You can have it go for 5 days.
And you can add the drama as well over multiple days.
That's right.
Different sessions, break it up.
Indeed. You can get a sort of a tantric experience where it's just, you're just being foreplayed the entire time.
Exactly, yeah. And then it rains and then just washed out.
Yeah, that's right.
And you stop for tea.
That's right. Or you still have a cup of tea, a scone, maybe a little jam and butter on a pikelet.
I'm hungry now.
I'm fucking hungry. I agree with you. Actually, I mean, when you put it all together, it looks like it was just this incredibly seesawing roller coaster, climactic kind of game.
Yeah.
It's just that when it takes place over 5 hours with a windstorm, it takes a long time to enjoy all of that. And I'm like, gee, these seats are small, or it might be my blurter.
I'm soaked. I'm horny.
Right. Yeah, that's right. There's no beers here.
I'm damp. I'm moist. I'm thirsty.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm very confused about this experience. A wonderful experience.
Yeah.
There's music going on. The Ambanis are there.
Yeah.
I'm happy. There's gold.
Yeah.
But it's like
the gold flickers off the jersey just nice. It dances onto me, and I think, oh wow.
But it's also fucking 1 a.m. I got to get an auto home.
Yeah. Someone's asking me if they can have my wristband after the game. So the game's over, brother. The game's over.
And the game is the game.
The game is the game, and we move. Hey, it was cool to join the franchise from this city of Mumbai.
Yes.
They do a live channel. It was cool to jump on that before the game.
Yeah.
Check that out, I guess. Hashtag AskTGC, here goes. This one comes from Nikhil2449. Lot of questions about this. Lot of questions about this.
Yeah.
Now, if I could refer you, ladies and gentlemen, and many of you don't need to be referred, but to the last episode we did from our hotel there in Bengaluru, where Higgins and I were there delivering you another assessment, another review of the game between the Chennai team and the Bengaluru team, and all the while was a famous, beloved Indian dish sitting in front of our fair friend Higgins here, and what a disgraceful display of disrespect from Higgins in daring to deliver you guys a review while the dosa sat there cold. It was making me very uncomfortable.
The whole thing was a very sorry episode.
Nikhil2449 says that dosa getting cold and losing its crispiness gave me anxiety throughout the video. Thanks, boys.
I rarely have we received more feedback on anything that also had nothing to do with the thing that we were presenting.
No, speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I was to be honest, lifting the hood on this. I too had ordered a dosa because we thought let's get some food going with all this sort of stuff. My dosa just didn't come.
Yeah.
It didn't even arrive. So I'm really glad because I would have let it sit there too while we did our work.
And that one's really cold now.
Yeah. But the dosa got eaten, and we've enjoyed a lot.
Is that going to annoy people more because we ate it after?
Look,
you ate it after.
It is fair to say. Firstly, we've eaten some outstanding food. I had a vada pav last night.
Nice.
Which was nice. But it is fair to say when you eat Indian food as the white man, you are watched a lot.
Yeah.
People are watching, and I think it's because people are proud. And
people
what are you
proud.
thinking?
People are very proud of the food.
Yeah. Rightly so. There's been some excellent dishes. We were really lucky to be treated to a home cooked meal the other night after our show in Mumbai, and Chuck and I got stuck into some butter chicken, some mutton, some
magnifique.
What else was there? Do you remember? No, we had.
For Pakistan.
There was something. There was a Pakistani dish which was lovely as well.
I have to bleep that out.
Yeah. Well, there was. That's just a fact. And what I'm forgetting something else. We had there was a. What was the onion? It was like a flavoured onion that we had. That was really good too. Yeah, Chuck. Yeah. Thanks for your help, mate. Yeah, just leave it to me, mate. Yeah, all good. We'll continue to enjoy the culinary experience, and we'll continue to make mistakes.
That we will. Well, what a great game of cricket. What a great experience it has been. What a great experience it has been to go to these IPL games. We're going to one more IPL game in Delhi when we're there as of Friday this week.
Huge game.
So come along and see us.
GT go top now. Everyone's going top. The orange cap's getting passed around.
Yeah.
Top of the table's getting passed around. Yeah. It's getting real tight up there now. Mm-hmm. Mumbai, who was hitherto just sailing through, now it will be in a huge battle for those playoff spots.
And
GC's got a game in hand as well, I think.
Yeah, they do. They do have a game in hand, so that was a huge win in the context of this league. And we will continue to review the games in the mornings after the things that have happened the night before in the game, in the big sort of the cricket competition in Bharat.
Yep, in Bharat, yes.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. All right. See you guys later. Cheers.